Is former Deputy Prime Minister and Shadow Veteran Affairs Minister Barnaby Joyce after a very busy day in Canberra. I'll get to energy in a sec, Barnaby, but Australians watching this circus today, you know, more than 30 bills rammed through the Senate. No one in the country would run a business like that. Why the rush?
Yeah, well, they're putting bills through rather than making hamburgers. Imagine if you had to eat them. We got to the last minute, we've got to bang out 37 hamburgers and see if you want to eat them. You got pineapples and beetroot everywhere. No, it'd be a total mess. No one knows what they're eating. But this whole chaotic sort of finale, it just reeks of impending election and sets a scene for chaos and disaster. You had the 1,000 businesses in Sydney this morning without power. You've got people telling you to turn off your air conditioners because we don't have power. We've got Swindle's factories rolling out. We've got bills coming out our caboo. I mean, it's just, anyway, it is what it is, and you sit and smile and go through your news clippings and go home and make more sense out of the cattle in the paddock, to be quite frank.
Well, the thing is, though, that there's no genuine debate about these things in the Senate, which is what the Senate's supposed to be there for. No. But let's just put that to one side. I want to ask you what you mentioned there. The panic in Sydney yesterday over what turned out to be a day in the mid-30s. What's the hottest day you've had on the farm?
You know, when I lived at Charleville in Western Queensland, I could come in at lunch from the office. I could go put on the washing, make smoko, go hang out the washing, go back, wash up the plates, go back out to the washing line and take the dry clothes off. And you had fortnights in the 40s. I'm serious, fortnights in the 40s. And the idea that we get between 35 and 40 and everyone's screaming, you know, climate change, Calamity Jane, build some Swindle factories, oh, the world's going to come to an end. It's just a ruse to cover up the fact that you've made an absolute debacle out of your power grid. That was not, ladies and gentlemen, a heat wave. I'm sorry to say that was a sunny day at the beach.
I want to take you through this. We had a day in Melbourne this week, and I know you've been trapped in Canberra and now you're going to be released and you can finally get out of there. But in Melbourne this week, we had a day where it was around 37, 38 degrees. Melbourne was covered in this sort of weird, cloudy, foggy stuff. The airport was down to one runway. There was no wind, no sunshine. And guess what? Coal was delivering 80% of the electricity, and I think the other 15% was coming from gas.
Yeah, I just saw a graph not that long ago that was immediate. And 1% of your energy was coming from the Swindle factories, from the wind towers. Yeah, we keep doing it. And Bowen looks you straight in the eye and says, your power bill is going down, which is almost, it's bizarre. It's almost a ticket to an asylum. It's just completely and utterly nonsensical. And he says, even though it's a complete disaster, the path we're on, a complete correlation between Swindle factories, solar panels, and your power bill going through the roof and manufacturing leaving, we're going to do more. And somehow magically, in the land of the pixies, in the Wizard of Oz with the flying monkeys, things will turn around and all of a sudden the power will work. It'll be like nirvana. It's just, as we all know, it's just total and utter tripe. And and when it doesn't work, they just go climate change. You know, any debate. You know, if their horse didn't come in on the weekend, they go climate change. You know, wife got angry with me the other day. Climate change. Car broke down. Climate change.
I've only ever had the chance to speak to Chris Bowen one-on-one off-air in a non-interview situation. Have you ever thought about pulling him aside gently and saying, can we just sit down and have a chat about this, mate? Because I think what you're doing is all a load of bull dust, and I just want you to, man-to-man, explain to me. I mean, it's like a conversation at a bar in the pub. Explain to me why you think we have to do this.
It'd be like saying, if you saw Jim Jones before he went off to that island, why don't you just pull him across at a bar and say good day to him? Or the Bhagwan Rajneesh and any other cult follower, and just bring him aside and say, mate, your cult is bat poo crazy, right? It's destroying the joint. It doesn't work. People are becoming poorer. Pensioners are being put out of their house. It's structured into the price of food, which is going through the roof. Mate, people in a cult don't believe they're in a cult. The people in a cult think that what they say is just self-evident genius. I mean, so no, I don't think I could. And I know you'd get an automaton reply. I think there are certainly people in the Labor Party in the quieter moments when they don't have to follow the lines, which we all have to do. They would say, of course it's rubbish, total and utter garbage. But they're the lines, and we've got to parrot them out. But but with Chris, no, I don't think that's possible. I think he's drunk the Kool-Aid, folks, and he's on his way with the green glasses on to deliver you absolute and utter destitution. And you're the ones who are going to have to pull him up, because we're not having any luck down here.
Dare to dream you either, win in March or win in May, whenever the election is, and you've got a rescue plan. But I think, it's a pretty simple rescue plan, isn't it? Australia's got a lot of coal, it's got a lot of gas, it's got not much hydro, it's got uranium so we can do nuclear. Why don't we just do everything we've got and get our natural advantage in the world? I mean, it's not rocket science, is it?
No, well, you have a look today. Well in excess of 60% of your electricity is coming from those evil coal-fired power stations, which they seriously, even though just think about it. So what you had 1%, one part of the day was coming from your swindle factories, your wind turbines, which they're just littering the landscape with these secret agreements, capacity investment schemes. Not allowed to ask them what they're actually getting for producing nothing, but they're getting a bucket load of your money. And, and so that with 60 to 80% during today coming from coal-fired power, you know what they're going to do? Just think about it. They're going to close them down.
It's just frightening. It's unbelievable. Just before you go, you would have sat over the years in cabinet with Simon Birmingham. He's announced he's retiring today. I'm sure you haven't always agreed with him, but his career, what do you make of it?
Well, I'll tell you, the funny line in with my discussions with Simon, everybody says something remarkable happened today, that Barnaby and Simon agreed with one another. But I actually get along very well with Burmo, as we know him affectionately. And I've known Burmo before he was in politics. I went to the United States with Burmo. So I know him very well. He's a very, very decent human being. Yes, we have a different view on politics. I'm from the right, and let's just say Burmo's not from the right where I'm from. But I have absolute respect for him, and I think he's a great fella, and he's done a great job for his nation. And I wish him all the very, very best. It worries me a bit, because I actually arrived in the Senate before Burmo. And I said to him, I texted him just a second ago, I said, a profanity, what the hell are you doing? Burmo, I think I'm the last one left, mate.
Well, you enjoy your break from Parliament back on the farm and in the electorate. Thanks for helping us out tonight, Barnaby.
Back to manual work. See you later.